Doing it.
We're live. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. We have my visitor, which you can see has been well used over the years.
Oh, I thought I grabbed a few. I was gonna wait. I do have mine as well. We'll talk about this. No spoilers. I got my 1792 foolproof as well. How about a little Elijah Craig bottle of Wow?
No spoilers in case they have not watched, but who would not have not watched?
I think there's gonna be some if you haven't watched. Well, and we'll talk about this again as more people come in. But if you haven't watched the Barrel Proof Bourbon Shootout and you don't want any spoilers, then stop watching right now.
Yeah, come back and watch later.
Go watch and then come back later.
Yeah.
But
Whiskey Dome.
Of course, Elijah Craig, the bottle of Wow, Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. They do real well. We had Stag in there.
We had
1792 foolproof.
Is Claire the third in?
Claire is in.
Yeah,
not a bourbon, he says.
I figured he was probably already salivating over this manly beard I got going.
Is that what that is?
Huh?
Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Sunday night, actually, we had a good comment today that came in, and they said, hey, why don't you guys go back and kind of recap each bracket? And we did used to do that, but we've been out of the habit of doing lives, and we really hadn't done that. Maybe we did one Sunday. We got together and we talked about the Barrel Proof Bourbon Shootout.
Right.
But let's go back. And still, we'll wait a few minutes, I think, for some more people to get in here. I'm getting this ready.
Brendan Allen, what is up? Do a little roll call. Chris Malloy's in. Proof positive. All bourbon tastes alike. Not all alike, but boy, bourbons are definitely close with that virgin oak barrel influence. Is that Crocodile Dundee? I got it. That's not a knife.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
That's right. Love that part. We were doing an 80s revival month, and I was showing the boys. We have movie night every Monday, and it was watch the 80s movies. So we did Crocodile Dundee. That holds up. It's that whole fish out of water thing.
I just texted you bracket 1, so you can look at that if you want to reference that as we go. We'll still give everybody a few minutes. Did you want to go through with a roll call for everybody that's in here? Or?
Yeah, roll call them. Roll call.
Starting back up will be Whiskey Dong, Doug Tempest, Leo Chav, Craig Foss, Mike 06422, Steph John McKinney. I think that's just John McKinney. Wow. Claire the Third, Santa Cruz, and I think I said Doug Tempest already. Brian Schultz, Mark Brown, Charles Ashworth, Chris Malloy.
I saw Don Nishida.
LK. I haven't seen LK tune in before. Brendan Allen, Timothy Thomas, Jay Hawley, the Beatles of booze, he always says. Thank you, Jay. Moose 76, and let's see, Arthur Lopez, Don Nishida. If I didn't say, Bart said, Clark Barr, Jason Coates, Matthew Parks, Dark Meat Chicken.
What?
Dark Meat Chicken. I read an article today on Fox that actually advocated the chicken thighs and saying the fat that is in the thighs is actually monounsaturated fats and is very good for you.
Goodness. I had a double dip burrito.
No, double dip burrito. I don't even know what that is.
I know
what a burrito is. I don't know what a double dip burrito is.
Deep fried.
Yuck. Salty Dog is tuning in. Jason Cooper, Ice House, Greg Lewis, Mr. Bill. Oh no, it's Mr. Bill. Jimmy Chad.
I was just trying to make something up that just sounded unhealthy.
Derek K. That sounded unhealthy, all right. D.H. Silv, Rostislav, Scotty Harrison, My Bourbon Journey. What's going on, Scott? Alan Hunt. And that looks about it for now. Okay, so again, we got a few more people tuning in now. We are going to get into the Barrel Proof Bourbon Shootout. There's going to be some spoilers. If you haven't watched the bracket and you want to, before finding out who the winner is, the brackets and the championship, stop watching, because we're going to go into each bracket here a little bit, talk about the whiskeys, and then, of course, move up to the championship and talk about what's won. So if you don't want any spoilers, turn this off, come back later.
Yeah.
And I actually poured 1792 full proof. This made an appearance in bracket 2, and I'll pour me just a little bit more to sip on here as we're going.
Well,
this one surprised me, but we'll talk about that. And it was 62.5% ABV.
Right.
But do you have your phone with you? Did you get bracket 1?
I do. I have it up. Perfectly well done. Well, great text.
So bracket 1 was Booker's 19-1, Teresa's batch at 62.95%. E.H. Taylor barrel proof, I think this was a 2018 bottling at 64.05%.
Yeah, up there.
Maker's Mark cask strength, 54.8%. And Jack Daniel's single barrel proof at 65.5%.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can say, I'm just going to, Jack Daniel's single barrel proof stood out way above everybody else in that bracket.
Very flavorful. It was my first dram of the entire bracket. It was number 1, or it was whatever. It was the very first number 1 I had.
Yep.
I literally remember thinking, wow. Now I thought it was an EC BP. But I didn't make the wow sound. I made the train. And it caught me. And woo, 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 woo. Yeah, it was just going. And it definitely stood out. And then we didn't have them linked up, as everybody here probably knows. I pour yours, you pour mine. It's all double blind. We weren't linked up. I think yours was 4th in the bracket, wasn't it?
Yeah, mine was 3rd. I wanted to say 4th. It was later on. It was 3rd or 4th, and the same. As soon as I got to it, I did about the same, and you were like, "Yep, that's my number 1 right there."
Yep, definitely. Yep, and stood out in that bracket. And I mean, there are other good ones in there, obviously, you just mentioned, but it was an easy pick for me.
Now, the bottle that we happened to use was mine, which was 65.5%. Now, is that the same as the one that you have there?
It is.
Because I know we bought them about the same time, or it should have been about the same batch when we bought them at same time.
Mine says bottled 5.2 of 16 on the neck.
I didn't even think about that. Let's see.
Yep. And it has the barrel of 16-3102.
Yep, mine too. Mine's the exact same. So that's a little older bottle than I actually thought.
Well, I bought 2 of these. And you can see, I mean, this is one where I like to just slowly sip. And oddly enough, I like to sip it neat. And Liz has even tried this one, and she usually will not. That's my wife. She usually won't go into barrel proofs. But she enjoyed this one a little bit too. Now, here's something that's funky. Even now, I get notes of like banana or banana cream. I did not get that blind. So, and I don't know what that is, but I've given it to a few buddies that come by Fireside.
That's the power of suggestion. You know, there's bananas, cream, Foster in there, and you know you're drinking it, so you're looking for it.
Well, no, but I hit that before I ever knew what was in it. I mean, yeah. And then Hans, my neighbor, did the exact same thing. He said, "You're going to call me crazy, but I get banana." And I was like, "Yep." So, what did you say?
And we do what?
You called it Banana Foster?
Banana Creams Foster, I guess is what I said.
What's the last name there? I guess I've never had Foster.
Oh.
You're fancy.
The Jack Daniel's barrel proof bourbon is I think it's usually around $65 here, give or take a few.
It's a steal. Go get 2 of them.
And it seems to be about average. We've had a lot of comments come in, during the shootout and the championship on the Jack Daniel's barrel proof, single barrel proof. Really, it doesn't seem like it's out of control anywhere price wise. Everybody, it seems to be really about the $50 to $70 range. With some places being in that $50 range, which is a great buy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And a lot of comments, really just people saying, hey, I've had Jack Daniel's number 7 in the past. I used to drink it with Coke. I didn't like it. And I'm going to have to try this the barrel proof, or, I've had the barrel proof and it's definitely a great whiskey, head and shoulders above, the other Jack Daniel's offerings. So, and a lot of people going into bracket 1 chose it to win, or weren't surprised even that it won bracket 1.
Very good. Yep.
Matthew Parks is shaming himself for not buying a 1792 full proof store pick a month ago. That'd be nice. Now we still have, this wasn't a store pick. This is the standard full proof offering from 1792. And fact is, and that's coming up in bracket 2 that we'll just move into. Let me send that to you, Bart, so you have it. But I picked this up the day that we started filming. I ran out that morning. I'd seen it in a store. We didn't have it. So I grabbed it. Well, no, it had been the day before, so because I went and bottled everything up.
Now, hold on. You saw it in a store and you grabbed it.
Yeah.
You just manned up and just snatched it right off the shelf.
I said, no, the thing is, though, it too won. I think it was Jim Murray's got a whiskey. He got a whiskey award from Jim Murray. It was either that or the San Francisco again that gave the 1792 full proof some recognition.
Yeah. I mean, again, did real well. And what surprises me here is I love that batch 13, that Stag Junior. So, I mean, if I was just looking at this list.
Well, so this is so we're moving into bracket 2 that was the 1792 full proof.
Right.
It's 62.5%. We did Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Now, and I picked that up for the shootout as well. We had done Rare Breed several years ago, and a lot of people have really been kind of talking it up. A lot of people really liking the Rare Breed, so I thought, well, let's get it and throw it in. And it's 58.4%. And then Stag Junior Batch 13 at 64.2%. And Old Ezra 7 barrel strength at 58.5%.
Right.
So going into this early on, I thought Stag would be one of the Stag Junior would be one of the finalists, without a doubt. If I was putting money on a whiskey, the Stag Junior, even if you told me the Stag Junior is going up against the 1792 full proof blind, I would have said the Stag's going to win that one hands down going in.
And I mean, we both loved it when we tried it. I know everybody talks up the 12. We didn't have the 12. We had the 13. What? Which comment?
Claire the Third says 1792 paid Jim Murray money, just like Jack Daniels paid the dummies.
They paid for this beard, baby.
Yeah. I wish we were that important. We were getting payoffs.
Oh, that's a lot.
Mark Brown, is it full beard February at your work? It is. Yeah, they did February. And actually, they're looking at changing our policies to allow neatly trimmed beards. They would have to be under a ½ inch.
That's killing right there.
Yeah. And then it's got to be trimmed to follow your jawline, basically.
Right. The under the ½ inch is weird. They need to let that go just a little bit longer to fill in.
You think?
Just a bit. So we'll see. I'm going to play fast and loose.
Well, so DH Silv says that 1792 would have no chance against the Stag Junior for him. And that's what I thought too, going in until we were blind.
I would have said
1792 is damn good.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here sipping it right now. It's delicious.
I need one. I mean, I would have said the same thing. But again, spoiler alert, you and I both grabbed onto that 1792, and it was phenomenal. We didn't know what we had.
Yep.
And, I mean, when we link up, that's always a good sign. So, and, I was even more blind. You knew all of them. You set them all 1 through 16. And I only knew, 2 or 3 of the bottles that were even in there. I mean, I had a few guesses, but, I was, double blind for sure. I just labeled a bunch of little sample bottles. I was just cleaning these out. I just labeled a bunch of these that were numbered 1 through 16 and put them into brackets. So, but like I said, brackets 1 and 2. What it wasn't as clear to me as the first bracket, but it was a pretty easy pick. And that is what surprises me, knowing that Stag Junior Batch 13 was in there.
Well, and like I say, going into it, I figured Elijah Craig barrel proofs would do pretty good, and I figured the Stag Junior would do pretty good. Maybe the Bookers. The 1792 is just a sleeper. I didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
So Don Nishida says that he mentioned the barrel proof bourbon shootout on Chad and Sarah's live stream today and said that the results were scandalous.
Scandalous.
Yep.
Especially,
well, I did not. Well, we'll move. I won't reveal too much yet. Well, we told you if you don't want spoilers, get out.
Right.
Come back later. So
everybody else has watched.
The Jack Daniel's barrel proof. Yes, it's not labeled a bourbon. Yeah, you can debate the bourbonness of it. I think back and forth. I mean, you hear both sides. It starts as a bourbon. It could be a bourbon. They choose to call it a Tennessee whiskey. It meets all the requirements of bourbon, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
We threw it in there. I threw it in there to see how it does. I did not expect it to win.
Yeah, I had no idea it was in there. But, yeah, we were both. I mean, when you read your little cheat sheet, and then when you told me, if you guys watch the finals, you'll see it. Now, Whiskey Donger, he had a statement that he picked one up, and he felt he was a little disappointed, but he may have preconceived notions, so he's going to throw it into a blind flight.
Yeah. Make sure it gets a little air, probably too. Like say our bottle's a little older.
Yep.
But Everwin's got a good point. He says, so why all the disbelief that Jack Daniel's barrel proof could be so good is marketing blinding, biasing us. I think it's preconceived notions, just like Whiskey Dong just said.
Yeah.
And I think it's the fact that it's not labeled as a bourbon. A lot of people don't consider it. And I think it's the fact that a lot of people have had Jack Daniels in the past. It's something that's a mixer. It's a love-hate relationship with Jack Daniels, and they've never given the barrel proof a second thought.
Right. Yeah, it's a college mistake is what the old number 7 is. So, because I've known people that they'll be like, the matter of fact, you say whiskey in general, and what they're thinking is Jack Daniel's old number 7 and sophomore year. And I'm like, no, we're just going to sip something here.
No,
I liked it from the get-go. I remember when we first got it, I really enjoyed it. But I'm with you. I would not have picked it to win.
Right.
So.
Most disappointing barrel proof whiskey. We did have Baker's in there. I don't think it fared real well. Someone did bring up, though, it's not even labeled as a barrel proof. That's true. It's not. It is a higher ABV, though, a higher proof. That's why I chose it. Technically, it's not labeled as a barrel proof, but you've got it over at your place, Bar. It's 58%, I think, or something.
Yeah, I don't know where it landed.
And to me, the rare breed didn't fare as well. The bracket that it's in, Bart, you actually went back and forth with it for a while. I think that's this one. I think that's bracket 2.
Yeah, the rare breed. I don't. I watched that when you first had her posted.
Actually, I think you were down. I think it's your second in that series. You had the 1792 full proof,
That's
and
crazy.
then Wild Turkey rare breed.
That's crazy.
Even ahead of Stag.
Yeah, that's what kills me, because I'm with you. I would have picked. All right, so going in, I was curious what you were going to do with the Elijah Craig. I knew there would be one in there, and I thought, might he put two? And then I actually thought, nah, they're too much the same. And then what you did was with that old bottle, what the 68-1, is that it?
Just 68% even. Yeah.
68 even. You had that old, so that was a neat little surprise there. So I expected there to be only one. And I figured the Stag 13, because we just had that, probably 2 weeks probably prior, before we set this up.
Yeah, within the month. Yeah.
Yeah. So I figured that would be in there. And then I was kind of I wasn't sure what else was going to be in there, but I figured it was going to be between that Stag Junior Batch 13 and the Elijah Craig. And my biggest excitement coming in was, I thought, I know I love Elijah Craig, but how's it going to fare with 15 other decent or two really good whiskeys? So that was my excitement coming in.
Yeah, and DH Silva's asking if there were any MGPs in there. I don't believe so. I think they were all from distilleries. And I also kept it, like I say, Bart was blind on this one as well, because I really organized it, started it, and had everything in there. I wanted to keep it with whiskeys that are available, really, outside, I suppose, of the old bottling of Elijah Craig barrel proof at 68%.
Yeah.
In the old bottle style. Really just because this is, I think, preconceived notions on our part and mine as well. And it did do really well. It made it into the championship and went up against the Jack Daniel's single barrel, or the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof.
Right.
Other than that, that's probably the hardest. We had B519 in there, so you can find the new batches of Elijah Craig. E.H. Taylor barrel proof, I suppose, may be a unicorn. If there's a unicorn in there, it's probably that one.
See, and that's where you do good. You track all that way better than I do.
Doug Chrisope says, I got my Jack Daniel's double barrel about 1.5 years ago and thought then that it was equal of any of the other barrel proof bourbons. Yeah. I've had it, and like I say, we knew it was good when we had it, but I think I've had this preconceived notion that nothing's going to beat the bottle of Wow. Yeah.
Yep. So, and I was glad. I mean, the Wow did good, but man, yeah, it was a little stunner at the end there when you said what it was. So Ben Dietrich says he misses the old ECBP. The flavors, I guess I would need to try them again head to head. To me, they're still very similar. I like the old bottle style. I'm going to tell you, it means nothing about the liquid inside, but I love that fatter, chunkier bottle. I don't like the coffin style as much.
Just looking through the comments here. Old Forester 1920. Thomas Buck says no OF 1920, which is his personal favorite. Well, and I had 1920. I didn't even consider that one. I didn't think about how high the proof is, because it's 57%, I believe.
Yeah, that would have held.
Almost 56.5%. Yeah, it would have been up there with them.
Yeah,
huge ass there saying you guys are spot on with the preconceived notions of Jack Daniels. Yeah. Jack Daniels number 7 on its own isn't that bad.
Nope. We did a little deal, 2 years in. I grabbed it, I think, as a fluke, thinking, oh, this will be fun. And then I had it, and I told him, hey, you're going to call me crazy, but I thought it was going to be like horrible, and it wasn't that bad.
Scotty Harrison says, I watched the shootout, saw the Jack Daniels victory, went out and straight away and bought a 4 Roses single barrel.
Ah, good comment. Look at that. Dietrich tested. Elijah Craig coffin style.
Well, DHL says, I remember posting years ago to tell you dummies to buy the Jack Daniels barrel proof, and Scott was like, we did the single barrel. I was like, no. Actually, we haven't done the Jack single barrel, just the single barrel proof. I don't know. I don't think we've ever done the Jack. We did the Jack Rye single barrel.
Yep, we did not do the Gentleman Jack. We
have not done Gentleman Jack. I don't think we've done the Jack single barrel, the 47% offering, but
because I picked up a Gentleman Jack when I was at down in Nashville for the FOP conference. They had it all engraved and stuff with a little.
Oh yeah, you still got that?
I do. Yeah, I didn't open it. I mean, as soon as they engrave it, it doesn't mean nothing. We'll have to open it and try it. So.
Well, and Whiskey Dong is asking about the bottle that I actually said we didn't want in there. And that's the Garrison Brothers single barrel.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a contender into the championship.
Yep. I brought it up, but what are there, like 72 bottles of it?
It's just such a such a unique, special small run whiskey. I was like, let's keep them with pretty much ones that are findable.
Yep, because I'm with you, Whiskey Dong. Good call. Thank you for finding that bad boy. So that's probably, it's definitely in my top 5 of all time. So, and I know it's hard, and it made my list there. And at the end of 2019, that one blew me away. It was expensive, but holy moly, was it good.
All right, I'm sending you bracket 3. So bracket 3, again, Bart and I both unanimously chose, probably head and shoulders on this one.
Yep.
Elijah Craig barrel proof, the old bottling at 68%.
Yep. Nice.
That one. We had Russell's Reserve single barrel at 55% in there. The Iron Root Promethean at 51.5%. I think that's the lightest ABV bourbon we had in there.
And go ahead.
And Four Roses OESQ recipe at 56.9%. I thought as far as the Iron Root went that we had a Harbinger. We did not. So I would have preferred to have the Harbinger in there.
Gosh, I keep looking for Harbinger. Now I'll never find it. Best whiskey or best bourbon in the world.
Yeah, exactly. That was a great award won by Whiskey Advocate. Was that right?
I think so. Or was it Whiskey? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they big award though. I can't remember which. Was it the Whiskey Journal?
I think it was Whiskey Advocate. Right. Bourbon of the year.
Yeah. Yep. Bourbon of the year. Just killed it. We're gonna have to tell them to make sure they hold on to one for us. Because I've got all kinds of Icarus and Promethean and the 5-year anniversary. I went digging right away, and I was like, no, I still can't find it.
Everwind is asking, so it seems in all of your blind shootouts, there's big surprises versus the preconceived favorites. What does this mean? We are easily manipulated by marketing.
A little bit.
A little bit.
First of all, drink blind. I mean, blind is so important if you're actually on like a whiskey tasting journey. If you just want to, have the big brand names, or whatever, and fine. But if you're actually tasting things, challenge your palate, and it's awesome. So, yeah, I love when the preconceived notions are blown away.
And outside of Elijah Craig barrel proof, making it in there, the 1792 surprised me. It surprised me that Stagg Jr. didn't make it.
I agree.
The Jack Daniels barrel proof for sure was a shocker.
Yep.
And like you say, drink blind. I mean, until you do that, yeah, I think preconceived notions. I think knowing what's in the bottle, what's in your glass, just creates.
Yep.
Ideas.
I like what your wife does. Your wife goes down, pours a little something blind for you in the evening, brings it up, and then you just kind of, puzzle it out, and that's a fun little exercise too. What's so fun about these is not only do we continue to learn, you edit these because you go put all the names up in the corners, and as soon as you upload them, I'm in watching them. I'm entertained. Like, what was that? What is? Well, I knew after we hit the final what they all were, and then that's when you go in. Well, not all of them, I guess. I knew what the final 4 were that were in the bracket. So it was exciting to go watch the ones that were kind of rejected out pretty early too. So that's fun.
Claire the Third says we needed Stag Junior Batch 12, which I've heard really good things about. We didn't ever see or pick that one up when it was available.
Yep.
I do have Oak and Smoke Whiskey Review sent us a sample of Stag Junior Batch 12. So I do have that just so we can do a comparison, Bart.
Neat.
And look at that 2 Batch 13.
That is awesome. That is really cool. Scotty Harrison had a great question. I'm interested to know if you did the same shootout in the summer. Do you think would the results be the same? I think they would, but pallets, things do maneuver around. We're in an air-conditioned environment, so I think it would be the same even in the summer. So, but
I'm going to say we'll never know because I'm never doing that again. That's a lot of whiskey to drink one time.
That is. We're getting to be experts at it, though. I liked how our times clicked off. I mean, we were doing good.
Well, except for the championship there, where you kept giving corn notes.
Oh my God! Yeah. Hello. See, I need to peek over at your face some more. You were sitting there, boom, doing your little nod off. cornbread.
You were zoned in, man. You were sitting there and you're looking away from me. You're looking to this side and you're just smacking and tasting.
I was in the zone, baby.
You was in the zone and you were just going.
I was in the flow. Yeah, you're in there nodding, and then
corn and this.
I got corn.
And there's corn and there's roasted corn.
A little bit of popcorn with
corn, butter,
salted butter popcorn on the cob is coming.
And then you go, hey, I'm talking. Why don't you just go ahead and give them what you got?
Yeah. Like I was a Southern preacher there. I was just in the moment.
Matthew Park says, don't think you'll lose a single subscriber for that finals video. That's right. Where I go, oh my God, you know how many subscribers we're going to lose over this?
Yeah, I know. That was funny.
Nate Lawson points out the more air his bottle of Jack Daniel's single barrel proof gets, the more traditional bourbon notes come forward. Maybe that's what happened with ours because that had been open for a little bit.
Yeah.
Eric Evanson is asking, he says, maybe I wasn't paying attention during the finals video, but did you add water to the 1792 full proof? It looked like Bart just added it to 2 of them. I don't, I didn't add it to all of them. I know that it kind of just depends on how my palate is feeling. If I'm lining 2 up and one is clearly better, boom, the other one's out. I've got the winner of that one. I don't need to add water to them to see. Then it goes to the next ones. It's kind of like if I feel like I need to or want to, okay, I do. But
I was trying to put water in each of them, so maybe I missed it. Maybe I got stuck on the corn. But yeah, my idea was try them, set them to the side, kind of rank them, but let them air a little bit with the coins off the top and put a little drop in them and just see what happens. But hey, I may have missed it. I'm easily distracted.
Dark Meat Chicken is asking, do you guys find yourselves reaching for more barrel proof bourbons and bourbons in general now? or you guys still prefer the wider taste experiences of scotches?
I still will reach for a scotch in general. Now, during the summer, when it's hot, I'm not doing as much peated. And then I like a bourbon, and I like a barrel-proof bourbon, and I do it Bruno style, Scott style. I throw a couple cubes in there. I'll be out mowing, and I'll come in, and I'll just clink in a couple cubes and a little bit of barrel-proof bourbon and just sit and sip, and it's great. So
I will say it just depends on my mood. I might even be 50-50 anymore, bourbons to scotches. But I'll tell you, more times than not, they are higher ABVs. Last night, I sat down, I made myself kill my Johnny Walker rye cask. There was about 3 ounces left in it. It was 40%. And then I've got a Johnny Walker Black Label that's got about 3 ounces left in it. I was like, that's the next bottle. I just need to get rid of some of these. But they're 40% ABV, and I'm thinking I want something with a little bit more kick to it.
Sure.
So I've got to make myself drink sometimes the lower ABVs. I just don't go to them that often.
Man, I had a Johnny Walker Green sitting next to my computer in my office, just down on the floor like a buddy. And I started to wonder if I had a problem. Because I just, I was like, it was a couple days after we did this. I'm like, I'm not going to drink for a couple days. Next thing you know, I'm editing like a board game video, and I'm sipping Johnny Walker Green. I'm like, oh, I'm drinking without even thinking about it. What happened?
I want to say it might be higher than 40%, though. Green Label?
It is. I think it's 50, isn't it?
I would say 46.
So it's not just 40, but what caught me was it was just sitting next to my desk there, man. I was like, oh, my.
Well, I think, no, my bottle's 43.
Oh, okay. I thought it was higher. I would grab mine, but it's still sitting next to my desk. That's a nice sipper for me. I love the Johnny Walker Green. And, remember they were gone for a while, and then a bunch of them came in with that, that non-spill top on it. I bought a case of them.
Mm-hmm.
I was moving boxes around in my mechanical room, and I saw that, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Well, they came in and they said, Green Label's discontinued. We're not making it anymore.
Yep.
Everybody ran out and snatched it up, and it was gone for 6 months to a year. And all of a sudden, some bottles showed up in the store, and you went and bought a case of it. And then like, oh no, we reintroduced it to the market.
Yeah, we got a lot of it. Well, I still got a lot of it. So, but I like it. I like the green. I think the green is my favorite Johnny Walker.
It is, yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah. So.
Okay, Everwind is asking, so were the price points for the shootout about the same price? Did price factor into it? As far as just the bottles that we used being available and stuff? Really the only, E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof is going to be higher dollar. I did consider Joseph Magnus, and it's 50-some%, but it was $100 bottle, so maybe money factored into that one, but it was also the fact that it's a wine finished one, and everything else we had was pretty much straight bourbons. And so I think it was more the fact of the wine finishing that I didn't throw Joseph Magnus in. But price points, really everything's $60 to $80, I think, gets you about anything in the shootout.
I grabbed one of my Iron Roots, but I can't remember because you were down there when you surprised the sniper. And didn't you grab a special bottle for me that it was labeled a little bit different or something?
Yeah.
Do you remember how it was labeled?
No, it's your bottle.
I know, but it was like
it's the Angry Icarus.
Yeah.
I think it's got handwriting on it. I think they worth a silver Sharpie.
Yep. I couldn't remember. So I've grabbed the Hubris, but I didn't want to drink the Angry Icarus. I couldn't remember.
I think it's in an Icarus bottle, but it's got a silver Sharpie. I think they remarked on it something.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I think the Alzheimer's already started.
You need to mark that one. Have you tried? You probably haven't even opened it and tried it.
We'll have to see. I've got a bunch of iron roots. I feel.
Right. I'm going to get some hate here.
Oh.
So, Blade Runner came out in 1982.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever watched it.
What?
If I did, I've forgotten about it.
Oh, my God.
So, literally last week, probably Wednesday night, it's on Netflix now. I was like, I need to watch Blade Runner and see if this is one I've just forgotten about. Or, I mean, it's such a cult classic.
Yeah.
So,
Rutger.
I was not that impressed with it.
What? Come on, Rutger.
Have you watched it lately?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When they came out with the Blade Runner, whatever future thing.
The new one I watched, and so it was good. I got to tie in. I figured out some more stuff with the new one. But here's the main problem I had as I'm watching this movie. Now, it's 1982, so action scenes aren't what they are today.
True.
But Harrison Ford is this kick-ass replicant hunter. He can track him down and kill him on the spot.
He might be a replicant himself.
Right? He gets his ass kicked that whole movie by all 4 replicants that he was hunting, and 3 of them damn near killed him. He was lucky to live.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do they have to bring this guy out of retirement? He ain't no good. And to find him, he's got to interview him for 2 hours and have their eyeball scanner going on him.
But he's good. He found them. And he won. And he might be a replicant himself. Yeah. That's a Philip K. Dick short story. So what is it? Do electric, something. I can't remember what it was. I haven't read it, but The Robot's Dream of Electric Sheep or something like that is the original short story. But yeah, in the whole original deal, you wonder, is he a replicant himself?
I'd never wondered that. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something that kind of floats around there. And then Rutger Hauer is unbelievable. Did I say his last name right?
Yeah, Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, it's been so long.
Yeah, that was kind of a dumb part, though, too.
What? Up when he's all wet, up in the rain, and they're fighting on a building?
And he sticks his head through the wall into the bathroom. Ha, 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 ha. Hey, Johnny, I'm here.
I think that's a good part. Fighting the girl but she's
Daryl Hannah.
Yeah, but she's wearing the plastic outfit or whatever. I like the fact that it's like everything's got a heavy Asian, Chinese, Japanese influence, and it's raining all the time. I love that. It's got that noir kind of feel to it. So I liked it. But have you watched the new one?
Yeah.
So I need to watch it again. It was okay. It wasn't, it held its own kind of thing. What's Brett's?
Now, the main character in it is a replicant that was created to go hunt the others, and he gets his ass beat a little bit, but he also administers the whooping in the end on each one. He doesn't have to have help from other people every time. Brett Colombo says that's what he didn't like about the sequel. The most powerful part of the original is wondering if he's a replicant.
Exactly.
He's not in the next movie.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I know. I like the fact that you don't know.
Talking about Harrison Ford's part, right?
Of course. Yeah, you don't know. You're sitting there wondering because he's interviewing the I always want to call her the rich girl, but she's the replicant that he's falling in love with.
Yeah.
And,
Sean Young.
What?
Sean Young.
How do you do that? I can't remember their
I just watched it again though too, remember?
Still. Shit. I can barely say Harrison Ford.
I just kept thinking, I'm like, why did they have to bring this guy out of retirement so he can get his ass kicked by all these freaking replicants that he's supposed to be killing?
Yeah, and if he's a replicant, why would they retire him in the first place? Yeah.
I watched. I wasn't thinking. I didn't even think about if he was a replicant or not. That never crossed my mind. To me, he was a human.
Yeah, when he's with the girl, when he's with
Rachel. Rachel's her name in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. You're pulling out her real name. That kills me, dude. I'm like, I wasn't even sure. I'm like, what was that her name in the movie or her real name?
No.
It's like you hung out with her last week. No, Rachel. No, that's her screen name, Sean Young. She was just over having a little hubris. But yeah, that's what I liked about it. And you got to remember, like you said, it's 82. When you picture that, it holds up, I think. You're right, the action scenes, but I don't need all the fast cuts and everything. I think it holds up pretty well as the original story. There's a few little weird, but so plot hole.
Yo Jimbo has a good point.
Yeah. Why do they have pictures of the replicants, but they need a Blade Runner to hunt them? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, when they have facial recognition and stuff everywhere, they'd be like, oh, boop, there's Daryl Hannah right there down at the fish market.
Good point.
Brendan Allen, little not on bourbons necessarily, is Redbreast 12 cask strength a sherry bomb? I've had 15 and loved it, but was not a fan of the regular 12. The 12 cask strength is head and shoulders above the regular 12. And the 12's coming in one of those 40% ABVs we were just talking about. It's a great whiskey. It's delicious, just light ABV. The 12 cask strength is definitely better, not a sherry bomb. Mm-hmm. They're sherry finished, so you get some sherry influence, some sherry notes. I really don't know any Irish whiskeys that are going to be a sherry bomb.
What they are is so soft and pleasing. I mean, it's a weird kind of, I get this nice, rounded, smooth, all those little fruity notes are in there, but yeah, not like a bomb though. So Terminator holds up. Blade Runner, not so much. You're right. Terminator and T2. My boy and I watched that as well. We also did the original Rambo and Rambo 2. Yeah.
Now, those are good. I just picked up, fact is, iTunes had the first 4 Rambos for like $9.95 or something several months ago. So you get all 4 movies for $9.95.
Wow.
So I bought all those. And then the new one came out. I just bought that one a few weeks ago. Let's get back, though, real quick. We better get back to bourbon here a little bit. At least move into, because we're going to run out of time. Let's skip bracket 4. You choose Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B519.
Right.
I choose Knob Creek. It was a 14-year-old store pick at 60%. And then we moved into the championship.
And I'm thrilled that I did grab both ECBPs out of their blind. I like that.
Yeah, and I watch, and even when I go back, I was quick to eliminate the old bottling. The ECBP 68% was my number 1 whiskey, and I actually chose 1792 over it. But as you watch in the video later, after I choose Jack Daniels, I go back to the number 1. I'm like, oh my god, number 1's delicious. And I go back a few times. I'm like, wow, 1 is freaking stunning.
Yeah,
and that was my Elijah Craig. That was my 68% Elijah Craig, and it was darn good. But I'll still stand. I mean, Jack Daniels, the single barrel proof was, and of course, it took you a while to narrow it down between the two.
I was in a zone. I had to do a retinal scan. I had to let it toss me around and beat me up a little bit.
I actually thought I was going to get some hate over saying I wasn't that impressed with it, but there were several people in the chat that agreed with me. I don't think it was that great of a movie. I like the premise, and filmed today, I think it would have been done quite a bit differently. And maybe it's just because it was 1982, but I was not impressed with it. I like the story as a whole, but yeah, just probably the filmography, the action scenes, and I'm still not sure what Harrison Ford's skills were that he brought to bring him out of retirement to track these replicants down close.
Oh, that's funny. So I love the idea that it's back to the same thing, though. As soon as they become human, hey, Miranda's in. Good evening, gents. Good evening to you, Juliet. I love the idea that they become sentient, though. And then the idea is how do you treat them? And they're treated poorly. So I thought that was that's the whole part of the movie is even how he figures it out when he's with Rachel. So
Brendan Allen says, good to know about the red breast. I won't pull the trigger on the Lustau. Lustau is still a good bottle as well. That's what got my wife into whiskey.
Oh yeah,
I think there's actually a little bit more sherry on it. I think the 15 is a better whiskey, but it's going to be they're going to be close.
Pull the trigger. It's good Irish. It's real good. Very, very good.
Arthur Lopez, going back to the 80s, his favorite retro cyberpunky film was Tron.
Yeah, I got to show that to the boy.
They remade that one too.
Yeah. So
we were talking at work the other day just about the state of Hollywood now.
Oh,
when your biggest action stars are still Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis,
Tom Cruise,
Sylvester Stallone. Outside of the Avengers and the actors there really hasn't. You haven't. I mean, there's not. Who's your powerful actors nowadays? Who's the ones that you're seeing recurring, or right. Who's your action stars? We saw
Ryan Reynolds. Really?
Do what?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Yep.
We saw Matt Damon for a little bit with the Bourne series, but other than that, Hollywood is stuck in the 80s and remaking 80s films.
Yeah, but look at all the bands. Same thing. I mean, Kiss is coming through town. I know it's supposedly their final, but nobody puts on a show like the bands from the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, even the bands, all of them. I mean, they just kill it. So, and we lived in good times, brother. But you're right. I mean, Top Gun 2's coming out. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm still pretty sure there wouldn't be a 55-year-old pilot left in the Navy.
Well, all I'm saying is just the other day, you didn't know it, but I was walking up to your door. I hadn't knocked yet. I could see you were like rewatching the volleyball scene.
Hey, that's a classic. Don't let anybody tell you different.
You lost that love and feeling, baby.
James McGarren had a good point. Don't forget The Rock now, though. Yeah, The Rock.
That's true.
He's getting older, though, too. He's been around for a little bit, but.
Yeah. No, there's something going on there. Well, I think movies in general are actually in a little bit of trouble. I mean, if you look, Netflix is the place where the boundaries are being pushed, where you get different kinds of movies that are out there. So, and TV shows, I mean, Breaking Bad and what they can do over season after season after season and how intelligent and deep they can go. Way to go, Clark Barr. Board games.
I just about did a little train whistle. I just took my first sip of the Jack Daniel's Double Barrel. Woo! God dang.
Good. It's good.
Vesper Tiger says Daniel Craig is arguably, let me see if I can just find it here, arguably the best Bond. Better than Connery. Well, he brings the current day, the action scenes and that stuff. He still did a good job. I like his movies.
Yeah, the Bond thing's lost me ever since. I kind of like that old 70s and 80s campy style with Roger Moore. And
no, those don't do it for me.
Man, I like them though.
Daniel Craig brought the nitty gritty. I mean, he got cut, he got shot, he got busted up, he got dirty. It wasn't just a clean cut. I'm 007 and I'm gonna solve this worldwide terror scheme.
Come on, Moonraker. Come on. I was hilarious. I didn't like him at the time. As a kid, I didn't like him. When I watch him now, I don't know. They're kind of just a little frolicking romp. Keanu Reeves is badass. And
there you go. Yep, I didn't think about Keanu. But still, he's been around since the 90s.
Yep. I mean, look, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Who would have thought he'd be like...
Well, Speed was probably his first action movie with Sandra Bullock.
Point Break, baby. Point Break.
And then The Matrix. Oh, yeah. Point Break would have been up there. That was well before Speed.
Yep. Johnny, hold on. What was his name? He was the quarterback. Oh, man, I had it too. Nitro, I think. Johnny Nitro or something. What was it? Somebody on there will have it. Oh, man. I mean, that was awesome. They could remake Point Break.
They did.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I missed it. They remade Point Break?
Mm-hmm.
Did it suck?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. They remade Red Dawn. I love Red Dawn.
Johnny Utah. There you go.
Johnny Utah. Nitro. What the heck? Mm-hmm.
Woo. God dang, that is good stuff right there.
Yep. Well, we lived in good times, man.
Jack Daniels, single barrel proof for those tuning in, won the 16 bottle blind barrel proof bourbon shootout.
I like James McGarren's laughing at the same time. Haha, they did. They did remake Point Break.
Oh, yeah.
God, thank God I missed that. I'm still thinking of the old one.
I'm trying to remember who was in it, though. I'm sure somebody's going to point it out here.
Well, must have sucked.
Yeah.
Snatch was interesting.
Oh, that's a great show right there.
Yep.
We're just talking about that, too.
I still like Reservoir Dogs. So, Mr. Pink. So, yeah, you're right, though. And I honestly think TV is where it's at now. I mean, Game of Thrones and just the in-depth stories that can be told, the smart, intelligent stories that can be put together that aren't stuck, just on a screen. So...
All right, well, we're just short. Let's go ahead and, we went through the bourbon brackets and everything we've been talking about. We're just short of our hour mark, so I think let's just wrap it up, Bart.
Sounds good. I like Arthur Lopez, though. He said, did they seriously do a Point Break remake? That is awesome. That's how desperate they are, man. That's how desperate they are. They should call it Point Break 2.0. So, all right. Yeah, let's wrap it up. That was a fun one. I love it. Great talk. I like diving back into the 80s. Way to go with Blade Runner, bringing it up. Now,
yep. I figured I was going to get some hate for that, but actually several agreed. So
I want to go watch it now. You piqued my interest again. I want to go see him get his ass kicked.
Yeah, you watch it. You're like, Jesus, why did this guy come out of retirement?
Morrison can't be a replicant. He's getting thrown all over the place. The hell?
It'd be like if you drank an ounce of whiskey and it knocked you out cold. Right? Every time you drank it, you're like, I can't drink that no more. I'm done. And then you say, Bart, we need you to go do this blind shootout. I'm in.
I got it.
You're out.
Out again. Then Miranda comes in, grabs me. Juliet's like, we need you again. I'm like, I'm at it. I'm good.
Juan Quintanilla is tuning in just as we say. He says aloha.
Ooh.
How do you say goodbye in Hawaii?
I think it's aloha's both hi and goodbye.
Is it?
I think so.
All right.
I like DeSilve. He said TV killed the radio star. TV killed the movie star. Killed them. It's like a serial killer.
Why all the killing?
Yeah, a lot of killing going on. All right. Scotch it. You Scotch Scots.
Sláinte, dummies.
See you guys.